Research has shown that 20% of new businesses fail during their first 2 years, 45% before their 5 years, 65% during the first 10 years, and only 25% make it to 15 years. And why is this so?
The best advice to a small business owner, or for that matter, to a large business owner, is never stop thinking about how to delight your customer. Not to satisfy your customer, but to delight your customer.
If you are going into any business, you must understand the business A to Z. You must know that business.
For hard work. The best time you're ever going to have is when it starts out just you, and it'd be great if it grows into a wonderful, big, profitable company. But you're never going to be happier and more satisfied than you are in the first year or so of getting your business going. People say luck, yes, but the harder you work, the luckier you get.
My advice to a small business owner or any entrepreneur would be not to be discouraged if the business you end up with is not the one you started out to pursue. Because so often you encounter difficulties, you encounter failures, and the important piece is to learn from each of those very quickly and to pivot and to move on to the idea that works.
Of course, you have to be close to your products, close to your customers, and think about them. That's the most important, but don't forget to think about your business, what your plans are, what you want to do next, how to take your business to the next level.
This advice is to really work hard to clarify what your purpose is and be able to articulate that, be able to communicate it in a simple sentence. And the reason that's important is as you bring people into your company, I think the most important question you ask them is, why are you here? Why do you want to join this company? And if you hear that purpose back, if you hear that passion around that purpose, it makes everything a whole lot easier. Any skill can be learned and taught, but passion cannot.
The reason you have started that IT firm, that processing firm, that daycare, that retirement home, the spa, the barbershop, the poultry farm was to fill in a business niche, make some money so that your economic status could change, achieve a goal, increase the market share of your product and services by being innovative, contribute to your community development, and then fulfill your CSR, your corporate social responsibility. So what happened suddenly that all this became a sunk cost, a failure, dashing your hope of being an accomplished business owner? Keep watching while I'll tell you in a bit. Welcome to my channel, Shani's Digest. I welcome on board my new subscribers who appreciate my returning subscribers. This is a channel where we get to speak out and say it as it is. And today we're talking about top 6 factors that can cause your business failure. So keep watching and I'll tell you in a bit. So the success or failure of your business would largely depend on the interplay of all the things that you have set out to achieve, the objectives of your business. And for you to achieve this, you must form a logical network for optimal attainment of these goals by doing the following. The first step in starting a new business is having a great idea. And then you do your market research to determine how this great idea that you have conceived would fare in the marketplace. After this, the next thing is to create a business plan. And what is that business plan? You've got to plan how you want to position your new business. And what's that aphorism concerning planning? Yeah, I remember. They say if you don't plan and then you plan to fail. Sounds antithetical. It doesn't seem to make sense, does it? Just like they say, cast your bread, like loaf of bread, onto the sea and then you should have it after many days. It doesn't seem to make sense. Now, this is what makes sense. If you do not have a viable business plan, then your business will fail. It's like a barometer in measuring if you're on track or off track, in measuring your business success or failure based on the objective of your business that you had set aside to achieve. So if you do not have a business plan, it's simple, your business will fail. And what's that business plan? Business plan is a written document that describes in detail the objective of the business, usually a startup, and how to go about achieving the goals of the business. A good business plan would also come with a roadmap about its marketing strategies, analysis of the industry environment, SWOT analysis. By SWOT analysis, these are the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats of the business, financial and operational standpoints. That's what a good business plan will contain. And this is the first management function if you must avoid the pitfalls of business failure. For the sake of emphasis, I'm going to repeat this. Having a business plan is the first management function. If you must avoid the pitfall of business failure, then you just have to have your business plan. And again, you use this business plan to get off the ground and attract outside investors. Just what you're seeing on the screen, that is how a good business plan looks like. A good business plan must include executive summary, descriptions of products and services of the business, SWOT analysis. I've already talked about SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats of your business, financial planning, budgeting, income structure of the business, and then your summary and conclusion. This is how a good business plan looks like, just what you're seeing on the screen. Banks and other financiers indeed often make writing a valid business plan a prerequisite before considering providing capital for the business. Number two factor that can cause your business failure is bad location and poor marketing strategy. You've always wanted to own, say for example, a creche where working mothers would drop off their kids and then pick them up at the close of work. But you couldn't start this creche business because you thought the family there weren't financially capable enough to patronize the business. Then an opportunity came. There has been a sudden influx of middle-class working family into your area because of government policy on privatization. Your excitement to start up your creche business blinds you to not being strategic with particular reference to the sustainability of the business that you want to start up. Just as this middle class family were posted in, they could also be posted out at the expiration of the contract that brought them to your area due to this government policy on privatization. So when this happens, what then happens to your creche business? Of course, your business will become a sunk cost, a failed business because you weren't strategic enough to site your business in the right location. The third factor that can cause your business failure is low financing, your inability as a startup to attract financing to your business. New businesses have the challenge of sourcing for funds to finance the business. Do you know why? Banks and other financiers see new businesses as risky as they wouldn't want to stake their resources on the business that does not have a track record. So what do you do at this point? As a startup, you're just hitting the ground running. And if you're realistic at this beginning stage, you can start with enough funds that would last you to the point where the business is up and running and the cash flow looks okay. So as a startup, you're still a struggling business. Trying to stretch your finances by borrowing more funds will only put you in a vulnerable situation where you're struggling to pay back this loan because your cash flow is still low. Number four, the fourth factor that will cause your business failure is lack of periodic evaluation and appraisal of your business. What does your balance sheet say? As an entrepreneur, you're so preoccupied with the day-to-day operations of the business with the result that you have no time set aside to carry on an appraisal of the business in order to determine whether the business is doing well or not, whether the business is on track so as to block the hemorrhaging leakages. Look at the business plan and see whether there is a need for a new business plan or not, and reposition the business so as to strengthen its performance. Factor number five that can cause your business failure is not having the right attitude. You've got to have the right attitude, motivation, ability, determination, courage, and perseverance required as critical factors in the operations of your business. Let's hear what the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote, has to say about starting small, attitude, and the tenacity of perseverance. Take a listen.
David, one thing that I'm very, very proud of is that I did not inherit any money from my father. I built everything from scratch to where I am. I started my own business by just, buying cement, selling. It was just a very low-key business.
Right. Let's suppose somebody's watching this and say, I want to be like Mr. Dangote. I want to be a successful businessman in Africa. What are the attributes, or anywhere, what are the attributes that you think you have brought to the table which make you successful? Is it intelligence, hard work, persistence, all of those things? What would you say are the most important attributes?
I think the most important one, number one, David, if you are going into any business, you must understand the business A to Z. You must know that business. You shouldn't just go and invest because somebody now will say, okay, hey, there's good money in cement, then you go and jump into cement. You have to understand the business in and out.
Remember, the first year of your business could be riddled with all kinds of challenges, so do not quit. Number 6, The number 6 factor that can cause your business failure is resistance to change, or what I may call managerial rigidity. Why are people opposed to change? Why do you resist change in a dynamic 21st century business world? In the world where the ways and means of doing business are constantly changing. I am quite familiar with the temptation of sticking to my old ways of doing things and feeling secured in what seemed like business success and be fired up with the expressions, "There's really no point changing a winning team. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't know." And such expressions. I find some convenience, some comfort in these expressions, making me wanting to stick to my old ways in spite of the wind of change blowing across the business world. I understand why people resist change, considering the world of uncertainty and that very big elephant called fear that wouldn't allow us to embrace the wind of change that is blowing across the business world, because we are so afraid to lose control. We are so afraid of diluting the business ownership and structure because we are so comfortable controlling the 100% stake in the business instead of controlling 60% interest, for example, that will see to an exponential increase in the return on investment. So we'd rather be stuck in the middle than to give in to change. But I was able to overcome this organizational inertia, and the lesson from the Greek myth, the ICARUS paradox, woke me up to the reality that clinging on to my past success, my old ways of doing things, my competencies, and failing to factor in the revamp in the external business environment, tech revolution, failing to embrace the new norm in the tech revolution, the power of social media in creating visibility for my business, I am ultimately driving my business to a catastrophic failure. Just like ICARUS, who depended on his ability, his strength, his competence to fly higher and higher into the sky and ignoring all warnings until he plunged into his death. As his waxed wings, the same wings that gave him the strength, the competence, the ability, God melted in the sun. Just like Yahoo failed to make the needed changes in his organizational structure, which eventually led to the ousting of the CEO and co-founder, Jerry Young. I hope managers can relate to just remember that that product, that services that you are providing today may not be in demand tomorrow. Managers of businesses should monitor and scan for information that may signal the need for change. That will be all for today. Thank you for finding the time to watch my video. If you like the content of this video, give it a thumbs up, drop your comment down below, strike on that notification bell so that you get to be notified whenever I upload a new video, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching until I come your way pretty soon. Remain awesome.